I have a question.
Yeah.
Real quick. In the Ma Nishtana, I see Aramaic. It says Ochlin instead of Ochlim.
Yeah, so that's Rabbinic Hebrew, and again, you're right. Second Temple period Hebrew and Rabbinic Hebrew are in some aspects they have some elements that are similar to Aramaic. I'm not like automatically saying influences of the Aramaic, though it might be. It might be also influences of regional dialects. Guys, anyone speaks Arabic here? So I can say whatever I want about Arabic and nobody could say I'm wrong. Oh, good.
Okay, another question.
No, just a second. I want to give you I had a point in mentioning the Arabic.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, for instance, in Lebanese dialect of Arabic, lately I've been listening to a lot of Lebanese Arabic because I follow the situation in Lebanon and I want to see what they talk about. My Arabic is not that good, but you can clearly see that when standard Arabic, Fusha or modern standard Arabic would have a mem at the end of the at the end of a word. For instance, at the end of the second person masculine plural, Beitchem, okay, Baitakum. In standard Arabic, the Lebanese would have Baitakun. They would have a noon at the end. Like so a mem and a noon at the end of a word is a very common change. You can also hear it since I know where you live, I'm sure you know many people who are Spanish speakers originally.
Absolutely.
And or even Portuguese. And when they have an M or an N at the end of the word, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, right?
Right.
So that's Ochlin, Mesubin. Right.
Okay. Now, the second question is the word nista, Ma Nishtana.
Ma Nishtana. These are two words.
Okay.
And the division between them is slightly different than what you said. I'll write it on screen so we can all see. And that would also lead us to a slight discussion, grammatical discussion of how this Hebrew in the Haggadah is slightly different than the Hebrew in standard biblical Hebrew. As far as the Hitpa'el binyan here.
It looks like nifal to me, nista.
Right. But it's a Hitpa'el, it's a form of a Hitpa'el, but with a noon at the beginning rather than hey. Okay.
Right.
Let me write it on screen. Okay. Move this and we'll write on screen Ma Nishtana. Ma Nishtana is what is different, what has altered, how is it different. So we have Ma Nishtana. Ma is like in standard biblical Hebrew. And
okay, so,
come again?
So the shin, the tab between the shin and the noon, it is the Hishtafel?
Yeah, so yes, it's not a Hishtafel because the shin here is part of the root.
Right.
So it's not a Hishtafel.
Oh.
It's a Hitpa'el. Okay. The root here is shin, nun, and yod.
Right.
Right. What is the meaning of this root, shin, nun, and yod?
That would be change.
Change, different, alteration. Okay. And this is the tab of the Hitpa'el, which, as you know, with the sibilant consonant, we have a metathesis.
That's right, metathesis.
Right, we have a metathesis of these consonants when the first consonant of the root is a sibilant consonant, shin, samech, zayin, tzadi. Okay, we have the sibilant consonant changing places with the tav of the Hitpa'el.
Mm-hmm.
And in Rabbinic Hebrew,
Mm-hmm.
okay, instead of a hey here, we get the nun.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, that's the, okay.
No. Wow. That's why whenever we do this 4 question during Passover, I always, focus on that the word nistana. Why does it start with a noon?
Right, because this is not
Uh-huh.
standard biblical Hebrew. This is Rabbinic Hebrew. It
Rabbinic.
has slightly different rules.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me, send me an email. I don't want to dive too much about, but I can refer you to like grammars of Rabbinic Hebrew and so forth.
Okay. Tada.
Sure,
Mhm.
sure, guys.
I have
So
a
Ma
question.
Nishtana, come again?
Would this be what has been done since the Second Temple period?
When did people start doing this practice, this Seder?
Yeah,
So I would say that as far as the core things of sitting the whole family together, eating, and telling the story, this is exactly what the Bible tells us to do. Okay, so in a sense, it is from time immemorial, like from the get-go, from the Exodus, in a sense, because we know that Passover was not practiced according to the Bible. It wasn't practiced regularly. The Bible itself talks about not having celebrated Passover in certain parts and so forth. As far as the exact elements, we have kind of talked about it during our discussion, which elements should be associated with which period. But the custom of the Seder with the Haggadah, exactly as we do it, or very closely to the way we do it, and the exact texts that we say, is probably a little bit more than 1,000 years. The general idea goes back to, like, not necessarily with the exact texts that we say go back to Second Temple period, and the general idea goes back to the Exodus or very soon after, or First Temple period, and so forth. So I hope I'm answering your question.
yeah, you did. That makes sense.
Okay, but there are developments. There are new stuff people do, with the Seder night. They add a cup of water for Miriam, okay, the sister of Moses and Aaron, who's traditionally associated with providing the people of Israel, according to rabbinic tradition, with water in the desert. Like, she had a special well that followed her wherever she went, and she provided the people with water. So they add a cup of water for Miriam. And in recent, let's say, decades, people started adding maybe 20 years, maybe, I don't know. Some people, not very common among Orthodox, that I can tell you, but progressive Jews have added an orange to the Seder plate to represent the LGBTQ community. I'm not kidding, guys. So people are getting creative with these things. I'm more traditional. I like, the kind of thinking of like making the Jewish life relevant to you, but also being traditional. So, for instance, when looking for the chametz, when looking for the leavened bread, which I told you we do, so they used to do it with a candle, okay, because they didn't have electricity.
No.
So today we do it with electricity. But you know what? Because I love tradition, and because, generally speaking, We like tradition. We do it both with a candle and with electricity. So I like the traditional way of doing things, but it's also important to not